Welcome back to a Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.
Howdy folks, WindyCityThetanWatch here. We're in Chicago. It's Monday, June 24th-ish, 25th-ish. Up at the South Street Station, just kind of looking around real quick. Don't really see anybody up here. We'll head downstairs and head to the station, or head over to the org. So today I kind of want to talk about, I want to be a recruiter. And I want to start recruiting people to come out and help with these, how to stop recruiting for Scientology in Chicago. Howdy, Twyla. If you're here live, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you're here on the replay, definitely leave a comment, like, subscribe. The last couple of weeks, we've had some challenges here, right? That they've tried trickery, tomfoolery, whatever. They lure me away from the org with one person so that others can probably recruit locally. And as a one-man team, it's really hard for me to do anything about that other than just follow them. So what I would really love to do is see if we can find a group of independent people who are against Scientology and would like to come down here and help work against against Scientology's recruiting tactics. It's again, it doesn't take much. I'm going to put my email out a lot during the show today. Again, it's WindyCityThetanWatch@gmail.com. If you can, and you're interested, email me. I'll let you know when I'm going to be down here. I can help you give tips on what do you need. You know, it depends. Do you want to stream? Do you not want to stream? Do you just want to have a camera so you can have evidence? Do you want to bring a friend? Bring a friend. Whatever we can do here, folks. Howdy, Cajun. Great to see you. Howdy, Sally. I really want to see if I can counter their tactics to, you know, I'm one person. I've got to play zone here. I want to figure out if we can get more people down here to help when they lure me away. Can somebody else then follow the body routers? Can somebody watch the alley? Can somebody watch the front door? So definitely let us know if we can help on that. Now, today, I don't have a great deal of time, but we're going to see if we can find some body routers, disrupt them, make sure we can go get those shades closed. Coming up on the alley. Nothing in the alley. If you look all the way down to the bottom, that U-Haul is probably for one of the two residential buildings at the southern end of this street. Now we're coming up to Clark. It's warm out here today. It's 84, 85 degrees. We'll head down to the org. I don't see anybody out on the sidewalk, so it doesn't look like there's anybody there. Howdy, J-Bot. And I apologize that I keep on saying J-Bot, and it's J-Bat. It's nice right now on this side of the street. We're in the shade, so it's not terribly hot for me here. I can see the Scientology door is open. We'll check on the shades in just a moment. Definitely see a Scientologist coming up. But he went into Paisan's. Hey, Annette, keep cool. Find some shade. Although I will say that sometimes in Vegas, even if you're in the shade, it's no bueno. We've got the custodian here at the front door. Looks like he's doing some work on the railing, doing some restaining. And there is nobody in the first column, so there's no visitors here in Scientology on the first row. We do have somebody at the desk, and I'll say that somebody is in civilian clothing there at the desk. And there's nobody in the cafeteria that I can see anyhow. So we'll see. 109. That's ridiculous. 98, no fun. We're only 85 today. See how long it takes them to come and pull the shades down. Like I said, trying to get, is that a public or is it a curious person? We've got the custodian helping out. Hey guys. Hey. So 2 college kids came by. They both have a beer in their hand, heading into the Columbia College. Oh, I never thought about that, right? The idea of the pavement or even sand, for that matter, would be ridiculous for a puppy. So there were 2 college kids that went into the Columbia dorm with their beer. But as they walked past the door and they saw me here, they faked entering the org. So that was interesting. We know they weren't really going in. I do want to hang here for a couple of minutes, but then we'll head over to Dearborn. I'm curious as to the woman who was at the front desk. And since the security person at the front desk didn't get up, I assume that was a recruit that they have to pay attention to. There's somebody else in here standing at the bottom of the stairs, a blonde female. Without seeing her face, I can't really tell you if I've seen her before or not. She also has the blue-silver vest on. So if there's anybody who is a recent Chicago Scientologist, or even in Scientology recently, if you're under the radar, please email me and let me know if there's a difference between the 2 colors of the vests. So from day one, we've seen the gold vest. The almost everybody that I've seen here is a gold vest person. Howdy, Scooter Rum. But I've just now seen the second person in the silver vest. And is that a different type of staff worker? Is it Sea Org? Is it just, are they changing up the uniforms? Is there a uniform of the day? Is it they're cycling through and old people have uniform A, new people have uniform B? Anything positive to share about the church? Oh, you almost missed the church there this time. So he's a new face. We haven't seen him before. I will say that, right, he almost walked past the door. Interesting. We've got college students coming down, and I don't really want them to live their life on camera. They don't want to live their life on camera either. If you can see through, and she's going upstairs now, but you should have seen the blue-silver of the of her vest. We just had somebody walk by that he's chatted with us before. I'll say that he imbibes. He sometimes tells us truthful stuff, and he sometimes makes stories up. Are you okay that women can't report sexual crimes against them in this church? Are you okay with human trafficking? Are you okay with child trafficking? You are okay with human trafficking? Would you like to interview me? You are okay with human trafficking? College student came by, kind of snarky, right? The idea that, yeah, human trafficking should be okay. It should be okay that women can't report crimes against them. Yeah, that's interesting. So, is she new to town? Is it her coursework? Right, keeping in mind, there is no, yeah, it could be coursework or e-meter. There are no residents here. How you doing today? So this is our young skateboard friend. And I'll say that his female friend just got in this car right here. So somebody's about to come out. They saw me. They're grabbing for, yeah, they want to get their phone so they can pretend to be on the phone. Anything positive to share about the church? Nothing positive about your cult? Are you okay that women can't report sexual abuses against them in your church? Yeah, we still haven't seen Chadwick since within a week of the occurrence. I've got the camera up just because it's pretty crowded on the sidewalk here. I'm so curious to see what he looked like. The way that Nance described him when he was in court, it sounded like he was very disheveled and most likely was on some form of penalty. And most of the ex-Scientologists and second gens have kind of confirmed that that's likely what's occurred there. Again, no idea what his crime was, but to think about it, that's how much the church values you. Got our friend here? No?
But the thing is, I want to tell you, quick, I want to ask you to please, don't try to stop people when they come in here and say that is.
Name one time that I've stopped somebody coming in here.
No, not. I mean, I'm talking about, tell them call this and that. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I won't stop doing that because it is a cult. Are you okay with human trafficking? Now, I will say, good on her. The Tory Magoo, let's talk to them rationally. But no, I'm not going to stop telling people that it's a cult when they come in here because it's a cult. We've seen this lady before as well. She 100% did say, please don't tell them it's a cult. Again, originally she said, don't stop people from coming in. And it's like, hey, I've never stopped anybody from going in. I've just warned them about what this place is. And if information is invaluable, great. Howdy, it's really me. Great to see you. Yeah, I like that. Please stop protesting. There was the other day that I can't remember which channel it was, but somebody was, it might have been Kelly out in Sacramento. Can you please stop doing this? It bothers the church. The people in the church are bothered by what you're doing. I'm like, good, that's the point. You're damn straight they're bothered. And they damn well better be bothered by the fact that there are protesters. So one of the Sakala boys, so he's the gold vest, he's going up the stairs right now. So is my response, I'll stop telling them it's a cult if you start telling them that they're going to have to pay to play. Yep. Yep, that's a great point, Kathy. Thank you. Right? L. Ron Liar.
Yeah, he passed out things down here,
Yep.
and we started talking, and I said, why would I do this? Why wouldn't I just go to, Jesus Christ? He says, well, this just adds to it. I
Yeah.
said, well, how can you add? You got the best of the best. How can you add to the best?
They'll claim that you can be a Christian and still join, but it turns out you can't go on course, and so you can't learn anything from this organization. There's people that are afraid. So if you try to take any of their classes, you have to then forsake Christianity.
I didn't know that.
So they'll always say, we're open to everybody, and you can be in any religion, but you can't go up, they call it the bridge to total freedom.
All they really want is your money, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Your money or your labor or both.
Right, right.
So some of
don't
these
pay
people,
they
some do, some don't, but they make very minimal wages here, like $50 a week.
Really?
Yeah. Think about it, living in this town for $50 a
Then
week.
why would they do this?
They believe. And again, right, in Christianity, people believe, right? That,
Right.
and so they believe. Now again, it's just they believe about something false and they get lied to so much that
I worked the Pride Festival.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not gay or anything like that. Kind of deal with security and other things. And it just blew my mind how many beautiful women were there that are lesbians. And then I took the train. I took the red line, and I almost got beat up or killed by a bunch of like 5 teenager punks. Just because of this.
Yeah.
And I started running in a different direction down in the tunnel on Jackson, and there's a couple cops with dogs. I said, hey man, these guys are. So they go and talk to him. They said, well, you were being disrespectful. I said, well,
yeah,
yourself.
there's no
I
such
told
thing.
the cop, I said, yourself, right?
Yep.
I said, you work for me, man.
Right.
I said, am I being disrespectful to you?
Yep.
It is hurting your feelings and all the rest of the stuff. I said, they're blowing curfew.
Correct.
I said, get him out of here. He said, no, you get out of here.
Nope.
I said, how am I going to get out of here? So I got a phone call the sergeant, and the sergeant was supposed to come.
They never will.
I waited like an hour.
They never will.
And I finally hopped on the train and took it to, what is this one? Harrison.
Yeah.
But at any rate, what I was getting at, I was riding the red line, and I saw this woman. I started talking to her, and I said to her, I said, it's none of my business. I said, but where are you going when you die? And she said, I don't know. I hope heaven,
Yeah.
And I said to her, I said, well, what are you living for? I mean, are you? This is what you're living for, and everything. I said, do you believe in God? She says, yeah. I said, do you believe in Jesus Christ? She says, yeah. I said, then why don't you know where you're going when you die?
Correct. 100%.
The Bible will tell you exactly where you're going.
I hear you.
Yep. You believe everything. I said, the problem is that you got too much pride.
True.
You can do it.
Agreed.
You can do it. You don't really need him. I said, and if that was, I'll let you go. And I said, and if that was the truth, that God actually really screwed up. Because what he did is he said he must have really hated his son to send him down here to say, not you, not him, not anybody, to say me. He had to be a real asshole,
Yep.
And it was like a light went on in her head. I was like, hey, just receive Jesus and truly believe it. You got to believe it in your
Correct.
heart, man.
I agree.
Just don't say it.
And again, that's what they believe.
So, yeah, that's what got me on that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's crazy. This is really a cult, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I want to say it was about 40 years ago. Somebody gave me
Dianetics?
It was a blue book.
Dianetics.
Dianetics, yeah.
Yep.
And,
That was what really started this.
Yeah.
So
he's gone, and he's still got it.
take care. Now that isn't. Sorry, you might have seen that right there. So that was the e-meter case that we just saw her carry. The female inside. Sorry, that's the one that I told you. He'll talk to us every once in a while, but I believe he imbibes on occasion. All right, I'm going to head up to the top of the street because I do think that the the black female was trying to get out the front door but wasn't going to be able to. I do think it was cute, and you can believe me that that's going to be on Natalie's show tomorrow. Will you please stop telling people it's a cult? Now, again, the idea that that person finally confronted me, that's good, right? Shows that they are practicing confront and shatter. They just missed the shatter part. Now, I might have missed that woman while I was talking to him. So we'll go look down the back alley to see if she tried to sneak out there. And we'll come back out front and then head over to Dearborn. Ugh. Eric, thanks for joining us. That's the first time I'm seeing your name, but I appreciate it. Just so you're aware, right? We're in Chicago. So this is the the close car. Well, one of the cars in the residential. The closest is in the residential. The next one is Pat's Pizza, but there's nobody else in the alley, and there's a U-Haul at the bottom. Oh, I'm glad you dropped your lurk veil. For all you other lurkers, make sure you're liking. I'd love to have you participate in the conversation, but if you weren't here at the top, I am looking for people that are interested, and if you want to, please contact me, WindyCityThetanWatch at gmail.com. I'll try to help you, give you some pointers, give you some tips. But with their new tactic of luring me away from the organization with one recruiter, while the others can then recruit locally, I need help. And I don't need help. We need help against Scientology. So if you're a fervent anti-Scientologist and think that it's okay to come down here, again, I think it's relatively safe. If you have a friend, that'd be better. You should try to bring some kind of camera so that you can record anything that occurs. Your phone would be a sufficient camera in that space. You don't need to stream. I mean, if you want to stream, go ahead, try to make the money. I would definitely encourage you to do that. And I'm not dissuading anybody from streaming, but if you can be down here, be down here. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Nance. Hopefully things went well yesterday. There was the Chadathon, Chadathon for Nance Drew yesterday on Poe on the Go. Folks, we're going to head over to Dearborn. That might let the female out the front. Adrian, that's a good point. Definitely bring your most comfortable walking shoes. I would bring water if I were you. Granted, I'm stupid and I almost never bring water, but there's plenty of bodegas around to grab some water. We've got a Scientologist coming with us, or towards us. He's got a clipboard, it looks like, and a phone. Yeah, I do recognize this one. I don't have a name for this one. Okay, that phone conversation was Randy was supposed to come into the org. The only Randy I know in Chicago Scientology is Randy Kretschmer, and he is an anti-psychiatry attorney. He was one of the first people to fundraise for Chicago's Ideal Org back in 2005. They had a party at he's got a beautiful home in Wilmette. He and his wife, Cheryl, and I can't remember what Cheryl's last name is, but there's, if you look on the website, the post is, how did Scientology fund Chicago's Ideal Org? Yeah, Eric, I will say that Randy was supposed to, which kind of implies he didn't. So, hey, Nikki, thanks for coming back. We are on Dearborn. I'm not seeing anybody here. Our puppy count's up by 1. Hey, Cubs. Hey, Cubs, are you available tomorrow night between like 5 and 6 p.m. Central Time? And if not, we can try and find another time, but I think that time will work for me. Absolutely, Twyla, right? Say what you're going to do what you're going to say. I'm going to head out to the bike lane real quick. There's no bikes behind me, but it was kind of crowded. There's somebody on a scooter near the top of this, and that the walkway is very narrow because of the sidewalk cafe. Folks, I am very fortunate tonight. I have an opportunity to go sailing on Lake Michigan with one of my old friends. So, and I'm a big fan. Understandable, Cubs. I'll see if there's well, it's harder for me to go earlier in the day, early in the week, but on Thursdays and Fridays, I can probably do that. Still not seeing anybody. Right, we saw 4 or 5 people walk into the org. We saw a silver vest, which is rare here in Chicago. And it might be that stupid thing where you never know about it until you talk about it. And then every time I've never seen a Volkswagen before. And then once you say that, every single car is a Volkswagen. On Natalie's channel a couple of days ago, they talked about the gray or the silver vest. And since talking about the silver vest, now I'm seeing silver vests. Oh, Cubs, we'll get it done. Don't worry about it. Folks, if you're unaware, Cubs Championship 16, he's a protester in Boston, and he is out there relentlessly. You know, some of the people that are really protesting on a near daily basis, the Eric the Raiders, the MD Media, Cubs, and I know there's others, but I'm really a fan of the people that are just getting out there and doing the work. And that's not to shame anybody who's not able to do the work or not able to get out there. But Eric, that's what we're told. But again, most of our source of information from Scientology are people that have been out for 20 plus years. And right, we know that Miscavige changes plans all the time, changes the technology all the time. So Who can tell? Cubs has had a couple of confrontations with police. It's, you know, I think he handles it very, very well. That, you know, he basically tells them go pound sand. You know, let me go back to that statement that I just said. That I'm still asking anybody who is a recent out or under the radar, if you'd like to get a hold of me, you know, WindyCityThetanWatch.com. Go to the contact us, and you can chat with me anonymously. You know, if you want to tell your story, tell your story. If you don't want to tell your story, that's fine. But any information that's available, really love it. We're working on a lot of old information about Scientology. Now, that's not to say that that everybody that we know has only been out for 20 years. There have been people that have come out more recently, but you know, the more contemporary we can get these people leaving Scientology, the more information we'll get on what Scientology looks today. Most critical would be like org boards, right? Org boards change routinely. Yeah, I like this. L. Ron Lyer and, darn it, the other St. Louis person, they have gone to the police and they have given them educational material, and they're more than happy to share it with you. Oh, Eric, I didn't know you had a channel. Thank you, Sally, for making me look smart. We're seeing civilians, and again, I'm not in the habit of Scooter. I'm always happy to hear that. And listen, I also want to remind everybody, we need all of the styles. So, you know, please don't think that because I do it a certain way, it's the only way or it's the right way. I assure you that there are people that I talk to, and because of my style, it doesn't get through. And a Pearl Snappy, the way that she is able to really vocally engage with people, maybe that is something that gets through. So, you know, you need the entire spectrum. Let's head up to the alley again. Eric, which town or org are you able to be near? And again, I don't mean this to sound like an arrogant statement, but I'm more than happy to have a panel if you want to talk about what you want to do, what your plans are, what your thinking is. More than happy to see if we can blast it out there, make more people aware of the channel. KC. So Z News and L. Ron Lyer. Wait, yeah, KC. Folks, there's a lot of people that I really enjoy listening to. And again, that Eric Rader, and I know Eric Rader has, it's like BC Incinerator or something like that. He's not only an ex-Scientologist, and he's, you know, when you hear his story, he was always kind of ashamed and didn't know what to do about being an ex-Scientologist, but he saw the Never-Ends going out there and protesting and said, wait, if the Never-Ends can do it, I can do it. And that's what puts him out there all the time. And he's out, you know, nailing flyers all over the Hollywood area and sharing his story, right? He's let people know how he got in, what his story was in Scientology, how he got out. MD Media, never in, right? But out there blasting the information as much as possible. He and Selfless Self just started a Thursday at 2. Now that's a Pacific time. So Thursday at 2 is special to Scientologists, right? That's when stats are due. Or I like to say that's when my body routers cry the most. Yeah, so I'm actually subscribed to Scientology just because I like to hear when they're putting out new community pages or flyers in that space. And it's fun to listen to their propaganda and just shoot holes in it, right? So we had a lot of fun at the top of the stream. At the top of the stream, one of the recruiters that comes out fairly frequently, a black female, and she's always got a headdress on. She came out and said, "I'd really appreciate it if you wouldn't stop people from coming in." And at first, I thought she was trying to imply, that I was physically stopping people from coming in. And then she said, "No, I want you to stop telling people it's a cult." To which I said, "When you stop being a cult, I'll stop telling people you're a cult." And I did kind of say that intentionally because there were some college students just walk by. Now remember, that's one of the tactics that I have is that I don't need to talk directly to a civilian, but when they hear the words like cult and human trafficking, they pay attention. And it's like, wait, what? And if it causes them to do research, great. It'll cause them to do research. So we've got quite a few coming out right now. Quite a few college students coming out and just want to give them some relief from the camera. Yeah, I've done that several times. The other one I do is if you're here in Chicago, Joe Cicala does an awful lot of his own press releases. So Joe Cicala is the owner of Dream Exchange, which he's also the father of the executive director of this organization. He's also a civilization builder. So he's somebody who does a lot of fundraising for the Ideal Orgs. He'll do interviews about his organization, and I will leave comments saying, only invest in this business if you're okay that they believe in a space fantasy and they believe in the space opera that Xenu rounded up all of the bad Thetans 76 trillion years ago, brought them to Earth, threw them in volcanoes, blew them up with hydrogen bombs. If that's who you want to leave your money with, go ahead and leave your money with them. If you're okay that they support human trafficking, please feel free to donate money or leave your money with Dream Exchange. Yeah, I always forget that they were frozen before they were put in the volcano and blown up. Sorry, I'm just scanning the neighborhood real quick, looking behind me on the other side of the street. A lot of times, sorry, so one of the staff members just went upstairs. A lot of the times, right, they'll come out of, many of them live in this building across the street. It's called The Imprint. It's an apartment complex that is managed by Greystar Realty. Greystar is a multinational realtor, so they've got properties on many continents. Now, what's interesting, and by the way, it's funny, we're watching the propaganda about L. Ron Hubbard on the monitor inside here, and it is his early days. And the claim was, right, he was the youngest person ever to make Eagle Scout. He was the first person to study nuclear physics, which I feel like scientists from a prior century were studying nuclear physics longer than him. And the instructors. Yeah, Scooter, one of the things that I'll tell you that I rely upon a lot is the chat, right? So I'll say things inadvertently, you know, I'm never intentionally telling people the wrong thing. The biggest mistake I made one time was I was talking to a CTA bus driver who had just been handed a flyer, and I said, did you know that 3 women assaulted Danny Masterson instead of Danny Masterson having assaulted 3 women? So 100%. And we've seen a couple of places where they hang out, right? It'll get worse, right? We've got this July 6th and 7th, NASCAR will be here. So those will be huge crowds. Those will be 100,000 people crowds. And then you've got Lollapalooza after that. Now, I'll be surprised if they buy tickets to go in, but they probably will congregate near the entryways and the exitways to pass off their propaganda. So somebody wants to get their selfie taken. So this is raw meat, right? You can see the gentleman sitting on the stairwell. I have one of my flyers ready for him. So again, oops. Here's the flyer for zenu.net and things that Scientology won't tell you, as well as some horrifying stories about the crimes that this church commits. Yeah, they'll be out here for 4th of July. They'll be wandering through the fireworks crowds all along the lakefront. You're good. So inside, we've got the body router, right? And they're really doing this guy up good. Here, let me get another selfie with you, showing him all the great things that are going on. I will give him my card when he comes out. I'll try to give him my card when he comes out. They might try to send him out the back, or to let him come out the locked door down here. Now remember, this door is always locked. This door is most often open. Sometimes it's locked, but very rarely. We'll just see if we can come down here, engage the guy if he comes out. Yeah, I always want to say all are welcome except. You know what? That's what I need to do, is I need to get a laser projector that will be able to put more wording on their sign. Right? So all are welcome except for SPs. All are welcome except for people who want to have self-thought. Are you okay that women can't report sexual abuses against them in this church? Yeah, Eric, this is something that I find incredibly strange about their tactics. They tend to go after um, people of low means, and it's like impossible to gather money out of those people. So maybe it's only because they want to try to get them onto the labor force. But the idea of a person who is somewhat indigent, living hand to mouth, it's impossible. I'm going to head up to the top of the alley and see if they send him out up there. I think that they sent him out the back door. Now it's also possible they just watch the cameras until I leave the front door. Um, it's a higher probability that he'll walk north than he will south. So even if they do let him out, I should be able to, react or interact with him when I walk back to the front door. Yeah, right. Disabilities, and by the way, they think poverty is a disability, right? That Scientology is here to make the able more able at the expense of those who are not able. Yeah, the gay people was something that really shocked and surprised me, right? The idea that I'm somebody who, when I was younger, I had different understanding of homosexual and non-heterosexual peoples. And as I grew up, I just learned more and became educated and realized that they're more often than not, they are born that way. It's not a choice for them to be gay. And Nora specifically, the idea that she was talked into, hey, it's normal. And by the way, I'm not trying to victimize Nora by any means, but Scientology kind of pressured into, hey, it's supposed to be a man and a woman. Go marry this guy over here in your org. And she was able to get a lovely child out of that, but it was a forced relationship. Yeah, so I don't think he went out the back. They might have sent him upstairs. They might have tried to get him to look at another book or another video. Not sure what's going on there. Absolutely right, Denise. You're welcome if you believe what we say. You're welcome if you'll choose not to listen to anything anybody that doesn't believe what we believe says. Yes, this channel, all are welcome. And in the Natalie realm, you be you, boo. Right? So our guy's still out there, still in there, and there's now a young black female who is holding up her certificate. Black female or male? No, young boy. So most likely purification rundown. If there's any X's, are there any other courses that a young child, a sub 10-year-old would take? But that child just held up his certificate, which I assume is some certificate of completion, to be able to take a nice picture. Yeah, they would probably just prefer, give me your wallet. I don't really need you. We don't need people to make this survive. We need money to make this survive. Sorry, there's a couple people coming up and I just want to give them. freedom to walk the sidewalk without being on the camera. Yeah, now, one of the things that would be slightly challenging is I 100% believe that Scientology does practice slave labor. I think that it's more common in this on the Sea Org basis. Um, I have no direct evidence that it happens here in Chicago. Now, they still support Scientology, and therefore, by proxy, they support slave labor. Yeah, 100%. That is a very common practice. We've recently, right, heard the stories similar to if they know that you have finances, they will visit you at home and pressure you into signing those finances over. Oftentimes, it'll be the put it in the bank of Scientology so that you can take courses against it later, but then when you never take those courses, you can't get that money back. Which again is antithetical to L. Ron Hubbard's teachings. He always said, if you ever want your money back, just come and ask for it, we'll give it back. We don't want people that don't want to be here. And that only worked until they ran out of the optimism and the stars who would promote Scientology. Now you get to the point where it's very challenging for people to love what's going on in this church. And they can't afford to pay back the people that have pre-spent on their courses. Howdy, Papa. Welcome in. Good to see you. Here's the young fellow again coming up. I'm going to walk to the top of the alley. I just want to see if the black male, and I'm going to guess his son, or at least his child, came out the back, and they're going up the alley. Folks, if anybody knows a recent Chicago Scientologist and can get a hold of them, or knows somebody who is a Scientologist in Chicago, I would love to get the org chart or the org board. And it's not a doxing desire. What it is, I just prefer to call these people by their names. Most of them respond better when I call them by their names. They're sometimes probably shocked that I know their names, but they were all over the social medias. Many of them shut that down. Now, the Sakalas are still all over social media. And again, I just think that they're also Scientologists. They're not Scientologists and also DreamWorks or Dream Exchange people. So they are Dream Exchange people who are also Scientologists. Yeah, I'm not seeing the black male and the child. There's a Scientologist that just walked in. He had a styrofoam container So it looked like he was walking in with either his dinner or leftover lunch. Howdy, guitar gods. Welcome in. We are here in Chicago. So today there were a couple of things that were different than normal. One was the custodian actually pulled the blinds. Normally it's the person at the front desk, but I think the person at the front desk was engaging a green recruit and therefore had to pay attention to them rather than close the blinds. We also saw a female with the silver vest, and the silver vest is potentially an indicator that they're Sea Org. Now, there are no Sea Org that are actually here in Chicago. It's a Class 5 org, not a Sea Org organization. And these people might be on loan. Maybe they're OSA and they're performing some OSA work. Maybe they're IAS. No real idea there. Because remember, Joe Cicala is trying to start raising money for Battle Creek. Joe Cicala, the father, not Joe Cicala, the son that's the executive director here. Yeah, I remember, and I don't know if this was a Sea Org statement or a staff statement, but everybody is supposed to know every job, right? They're supposed to be interchangeable in regards to what's going on here. Now, that doesn't mean that your stats change all week long, but hey, if the blinds need to be shut and you're the one near the blinds, go shut the blinds. You're supposed to be trained on all of the jobs, even though that might not be your principal job. Howdy, Ellie. Pelgear and Corn had fun this week. I think it was on Juneteenth. They started here, headed up to Wrigleyville, and then came back, seeing if they could find anybody out passing out flyers. Howdy, Mama Opal. Hopefully you enjoyed your visit. Would you like to learn anything about this cult? Would you like to learn anything about the bad behaviors of this cult? They won't let women report sexual abuses against them. They're in human trafficking. Just, if you read... Okay, I'm telling you that it's just a money-hungry thing. If you could just please, if you look here, you'll find a lot of information. Xenu.net, that's all I'm asking you. Please just do the research. And I understand at the lowest level, it's very innocuous, and it's good self-help. But it becomes very expensive very fast, and they have a lot of crimes that they're responsible for, that they don't really, they're not, that's not the thing they're bragging about when they do this. So, nope, you're over here. And by the way, you're in public, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm being generous, and I'm not putting you on camera. So, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So I was able to give them the business card. And that business card with the scan code on the one side, one of the websites is Xenu.net. And then on the other side is a scan code that will take them to my website with a lot of blogs about the crimes of Scientology. Miriam Francis, the Chase Wave, Serge Del Mar. These look like... So I couldn't tell what that said. It was a red cover. It looked like a magazine, almost like a highlights flyer or the magazine you'd see in a dentist's office. The stack had several different versions of it. So it might have been different languages. It might have been different months. I'll see if I can pick that up in post. I've got a 4K camera on my belt, so I might be able to pick up what the cover of those magazines is. This woman is both Scientology and Nation of Islam. You know, it's funny that in Chicago, very doubtful. And the reason I say that is that the same thing where the aldermen of this ward, when they violated their permit on the grand opening day, the alderman said, "You better not do that again." And they said, "We won't." But in reality, they're never going to grand open again. You're fine. I got it above your head. They're never going to grand open again. So, big deal if they're doing that. So, do I think we'll ever see David Miscavige here in Chicago again? No. Will he come through Chicago? Maybe, possibly. I don't. Boy, I wish we had Dave on here or no one. Well, actually, those are probably going to be contemporary magazines that we're seeing. So maybe nobody would know what those magazines are. Yeah, and I'm going to say that even the members of this church, right, the staff members, I'm not saying I have a great audience, but I have an audience. There's an opportunity for you to tell people, come in here. Here's why you should come into Scientology, right? That's why I asked them, do you have anything good to say about your church? Or the Phil Jones question, which I like more, and that is, will the church let you talk about the church? We kind of jokingly say that they look like ushers in a movie theater with those gold vests. Sally, I'm not positive it will be that, and the reason is the Way to Happiness is a static course, like it hasn't changed, and there were definitely 4 or 5 different. I could tell by the binding of the magazines that there were 4 or 5 different magazines in that stack, so that would throw me a little bit. I think it's the magazine that they send out to show course completions and local news about Scientology, and those are the magazines that most of the sites that show you who's taken courses in Scientology. I think those are the magazines that they're using to get that. All right, folks. It is 4:30. I need to head to another meeting, and then I get to go sailing tonight. Sorry I can't bring you along. But if you're still here, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Subscriptions are free today. Subscriptions are always free. I would really appreciate that. Share it. If you think there's somebody else that can find value in the protesting of Scientology, please share it with them. If you know anybody that might be interested in coming down and helping with the protesting of Scientology, please share it with them. Let them know. Share my email. Yeah, that is the that movie theater, or some people will say, right, they look like flight attendants as well. And I think that the old uniform was a ripoff of the Delta uniform, but Delta has moved on several times since Scientology ripped it off. Yeah, that's the thing that I think they were carrying around. But like I said, I've got a 4K camera on my waist, and I should be able to pick up the front cover of that. So I'll try to post it on the community page. Howdy, Texas Whispers. if I could ask the mods to see if we've got another live out there and we can share the love. Folks, the reason that we want to do raids at the end of these streams is to make sure that we're widening the audience, right? There are other small channels. We want to give them the support. We want to encourage them to keep growing. There will be attrition. People will fall tired of doing the protesting, right? Life will get in the way of some of this. So let's make sure we can do whatever we can to help these other creators. And by the way, liking, sharing, subscribing, that's helpful to them. If you can get them to the point of being monetized, right? And again, none of us is looking to become wealthy off of this, but you saw the business cards, right? And I was able to give one of those business cards away. You know, the woman said that she hasn't joined. She's just early in her exploration of. But I had something on hand that would ask her to search that. Oh, so nobody else is live right now? Sorry, Jay. Thank you for looking. I will absolutely be safe while I'm sailing. When I was a wee lad, I used to be able to swim quite a distance. I've done Ironmans before, so I definitely try to stay safe around the water, but I can also solve a lot more problems than most, should problems arise. All right, so we don't have anybody live. What I'll do is I'll say, hey, please, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do one more commercial for me. Today's show is sponsored by me. If you're ever interested in seeing what Chicago looks like, I have another channel, Windy Wanders the City. And what I do is I just walk through neighborhoods, show you what's in those neighborhoods. I walk through parks. Yesterday, I took an awful lot of drone footage, and I will then put together a curated film on some of the running parks in town. So definitely, if you can do that, I would appreciate it. I need 2 more subscribers. I think I've only got like 48 subscribers over there. If I could just get 2 more subscribers, then I can actually go live on YouTube there. I might be able to go live with drone footage, but that's a little bit complex, and I want to make sure that I'm responsible with the aircraft. So. I want to say to everybody still listening, thank you very much. And in my best young female voice, if you want to subscribe or if you want to see another video, press right here, a la young Aaron's children. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. I am going to go ahead and cut our live here. I will see you soon. I'll probably be back out here tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.